guys, what is going on? My name is Timpedia, and time to look at our second E3 conference. This time we are going to be looking at Sony's conference and what I thought of what I saw from Sony. I will just say Sony, compared to Microsoft, had a much better opening. They had this awesome trailer collage of all the games and everything, and really got you pumped up to be like the PlayStation brand in general. You just got pumped up by the PlayStation brand, by this whole thing, and that went well. That was a good way to start. So let's talk about the games. Beyond. I have never really been a fan of this kind of game. I mean, it's certainly a great idea, but I tried playing Indigo Prophecy with my friend Ed a while ago. It's not interesting to me. I mean, I know that makes it sound like I have to have action all the time, and I really don't, but I want to be able to, like, do something and feel like I'm in more control. Like, having this supernatural element, and I don't know. I need to see more of the game, but I'm not super interested yet, but I can see why it's interesting. If you liked Heavy Rain, then this totally looks like a cool, another Heavy Rain kind of thing, and that's awesome. If you're excited for it, that's amazing. I personally have never been into this kind of interactive movie stuff, so it's not really on my radar. Number 2, Battle Royale. Actually, let me go back into my reading off what I wrote as my super short note. Cool, obviously Super Smash, but not bad. Cool, weird score though. Crossplay good. That sounds so fucking awful, but I was literally just like, okay, I'm at work. Okay, I gotta maximize the window and type something out quick and then go back to watching because I wanted to actually see what was going on and pay attention to the conference. Yeah. Obviously this is a Super Smash Brothers thing, but that's okay. It's okay. I mean, we would be nowhere if people... I mean, obviously all of gaming goes back to Doom. Duh. No, I'm kidding. Everything goes back to Pong. If we didn't have Pong, we'd have nothing. Oh my god. But I mean, it's a great idea. Pitting a company's great franchise characters against each other is just brilliant. Nintendo had it first. Props to them, but Sony, that's great that you want to do one of your own. What the fuck is going on with my computer? That was weird. That's awesome. And you know what? It's cool to be able to be like, I'm Kratos. I'm going to beat the shit out of Solid Snake. I'm never doing that again. But that's cool. That's awesome. It's a great idea, and you know what? That's great. I don't like the scoring thing. In Super Smash Bros. Being able to smash people off a ledge, there's no real way to get a cheap win. I mean, okay, there's cheap wins in Super Smash, but, I mean, people drop in and they're invincible for a little while and shit, so you can't just... There's no, like, spam way to win, really. Not really. I mean, obviously there's, like, items and shit, like the home run bats and insta-hit, but usually people have... If people have any kind of goodness, they can usually at least kind of compensate. This, with its weird, you have to pull off a super move and then you kill people, and it's like, but punching them does nothing, and you build up this meter and you execute this super, and then you could just slaughter people depending on which one you do. It's just like, I don't like it. Doesn't seem like a good idea to me. I just don't like that idea. If you clearly they designed it so you can't fall off the stages. Like the one stage they showed when people were playing was these big walls, these enormous fucking walls on the side of the arena, so that people could not fall off anywhere. They had to be in the arena fighting. So, I mean, it's okay if you copy Super Smash Bros. Being able to knock people off. It just, nah. I don't like that. I just don't like it. But other than that, it's a great idea. Just get rid of that score. Make it so you can knock people off. But I will say, and this was the only fucking thing that made the Vita interesting. I'll talk about that later. But being able to cross-play the game between the Vita and the PS3 over the internet, fucking awesome. That is a brilliant idea, just like Microsoft's Smart Glass. Being able to take these two systems that are doing the same thing and just have them work together, brilliant. Awesome. I mean, it obviously goes back to, I guess, the recent example would be the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube, but you couldn't do that over the internet. You had to plug one into the other, so you were all still sitting in the same area. I could be on a trip at a hotel somewhere, and I could be like, yo, some friend back home or someone, someone, I don't really have any friends with the PS3, that's the problem. If I knew someone with a PS3, Battle Royale, and I had a Vita, which I would never fucking get, but that's a different story, I could just be in a hotel looking at my Vita playing Battle Royale, and he's at home on his PS3, and we're doing the same thing. That's awesome. Brilliant. I love that. That is great. Next thing, Vita stuff. IDK except for Assassin's Creed Liberation. Fuck you, Vita fans and Sony fans for getting Sony portable fans for getting more Assassin's Creed games that no one else gets to play. Although that one actually looks good. I think the other PSP Assassin's Creed games kind of sucked. This one looks fucking cool. And being a female assassin, I wouldn't be surprised if that... I mean, obviously it doesn't really affect the gameplay. I mean, don't want to... Never mind. But I wouldn't be surprised... It'll come up, okay? They can't have a story where they don't mention that she's a woman. Although I will say, I don't want to be... It almost seems like they're going out of their way to make... God, I don't want to say this. No, I'm not going to say it. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'll mess it. If you guys want to know, ask me, and maybe I'll message you or do a hidden vlog or some crap. God, I don't want to say that. But yeah, so I'll talk about the Vita at the end. But yeah, there was like... They mentioned a couple other things for the Vita. Nothing really. Assassin's Creed 3, they showed off naval combat. Fuck yeah, that looks so cool. Looks just so awesome to be able to like grapple with enemy ships. It reminds me of Lot. No one's gonna get this. Rise and Fall Civilizations at War, a strategy game from a long time ago that was a that you could actually fly down and take control of a hero in third-person action mode. And in that game you could grapple enemy ships and fire cannons at them and crap. And that actually looks a lot like what this is. And that looks fucking cool. Like seeing Connor steering this ship with all these revolutionary guys on it, firing cannons at these British ships in this big-ass storm and going up and down on the waves. Fucking cool. That looks awesome to me. I just think that there are people who's like, it's boring, it's not going to work well. It looks fucking cool to be able to sail around and actually control your ship in combat instead of being like shoehorned in and following a path. You're actually steering the ship, telling your guys when to fire, and then you get to get off and board the enemy ship, or at least it looked like, and beat the shit out of some British guys and maybe even claim the ship. That's fucking cool. Brilliant. Move. Here's what I said. Move. Not worth it. Give up. Fine to try, but older than Wii and not as interesting as Kinect. Sony had like nothing on the Move, which is good because the Move is dead. The Move sucks. That's not me being I'm not being a fanboy in any of these. I own a PS3. I bought a Wii for my sister, and I have a 360, and I have a PC, obviously, that I play a lot on. So I'm not being a fanboy, but honestly, the Move is just dead DOA. It's dead on arrival. The Wii did the same basic idea with the stick and the nunchuck first. And maybe the Move is better than the Wii stick when the Wiimote, but it's so much later. And Kinect, for all the shit Kinect might get, it's pretty incredible that you're able to move with nothing and do stuff. Even just the voice command. Move doesn't have voice in it, so and you still have to have a camera. But it just seems like the Kinect and the Wiimote really have just dominated the motion market, and Sony is just... I mean, if you like, Sorcery was apparently some game that came out recently for it, and you know what? That's fine. If they want to have people work on it, that's okay. It's not worth putting a lot of time into. I don't think. I haven't used it. I haven't used it for anything like Killzone. If you want to have the option there and make it so that people can use it with the Move, that's great. But I feel like Sony should just back off on the Move thing because it's not really working. I think it's sold less than the Kinect and definitely less than the Wii. Oh god, here's the next fucking thing. This is probably the worst part for a lot of people. Wonder Book. Needless AR stuff. Really not worth it. Just read a book. Ha 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 ha. Interesting idea, just bad, bad, bad. This follows exactly with... Well, not exactly, but similarly with my Wii U tablet controller thing where you have to look down. This is where you have this book in your lap that you like open and do stuff with, but you have to stare at the screen to do anything with it. It's like, why the fuck is this book in your lap? Just don't have any kind of physical medium. Just have a book that appears on the camera and shit. Why do you have to have a book in your lap that you have to like look down at and like read and shit? And even if you're not reading it, then there's no point in it being there. Just fucking have a virtual book. This seems like a horrible, horrible, badly conceived AR augmented reality, by the way. Bad idea, doesn't work. Give me the hologram version. If you can project onto a book, if I can look at the book and there's a hologram of what you want me to do, that's great. But don't make me have a book in my lap when I need to look at the monitor. That is my thing. That goes back to my whole tablet thing, all of that. So, fuck Wonderbook. Read a book or play a video game. Don't do both together. It just doesn't work. I've tried. I have a Kindle. I try to read and it doesn't work. PlayStation Suite, parentheses, mobile. That's the new name. IDK want a controller. Yeah, this is Sony's continued efforts to make, like, a real PlayStation games on the phone. Fuck that. I have never, ever, ever... I own a tablet and a smartphone. I have games on both of these. Hey, I'm reflecting. I could do the infinite mirror trick. Woo, there's infinite me. I would never play the phones that I have on here on my console and vice versa. These are all things I need that are designed around me touching the screen with my fingers, like Angry Birds Dragging. I also have a tower defense game I love to play on my tablet where I can drag and drop towers and click stuff. That does not translate to a console, and having things that need a joystick will never, ever be good on here because you need the response. You cannot play games that need joystick controls on here. I wouldn't even want to play a game like Mario where all you need is a fucking virtual D-pad. I don't want that. I want buttons if I need buttons and touch for touch. Stop trying to mix them, Sony. Fuck that. Just don't play it on your phone. I would never ever buy a PlayStation phone or anything like that. Finally, something good. God of War Ascension. Awesome, more great Kratos action. Fuck yeah, it just looks more like awesome Kratos. God of War is the only franchise I have really gotten into on the PlayStation. I have Uncharted 1 and 2, the dual pack. Fuck it, I never even beat Uncharted 1. I didn't like it that much. Fuck yeah, God of War, though. Beat the shit out of guys, get some awesome weapons, a great storyline. Fucking love it. Kratos is the best, one of the best anti-heroes ever. Just can't wait. That is the only PlayStation game, the only game for my PlayStation that, as of right now, I think I'll be pre-ordering. Not beyond... maybe this next one, though. This next one is the only other one that looks interesting, as long as it's not like Uncharted. Fuck Uncharted 1. Maybe I'll buy it because this is like Uncharted 4, but you might guess what it is. Last of Us. Interesting. Need to see more if I'm going to get it. It looks like an interesting idea, having this dual gameplay kind of the girl and the guy, and you play as the guy, I think. Or at least they did in the gameplay demo. That looks cool. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. It looks like I like the whole like collapsed society, but there's not really zombies or anything. They're just people trying to survive, like you. But they're like gangs, and you try to pick off the gang members. That looks cool. That looks like a good game to me. I need to see more before I commit to buying it. But that would be the only other thing that I've seen that I would consider buying besides God of War Ascension. I'm not a big... Oh, I totally missed something. Shit, I'll talk about it in the Ubisoft... Or in the, yeah, the Ubisoft conference, because it's their game anyway. I'll mention that later in the Ubisoft conference, when I talk about Ubisoft at the end. But yeah, so Last of Us, it looks cool. I need to see more. And here's a side note before I give my final impressions. If you guys remember, a couple of years ago, didn't Sony announce an exclusive game from Rockstar called Agent? Didn't see that. Where the fuck is that? Did that get canceled a while ago? I don't remember if it did or not. Let me know. I'll look into it after this probably. But okay, final impressions. Sony got it, at least brought the right conference, unlike Microsoft. They came talking about games mostly and things that related to the games. As shitty as Wonderbook and Move are, they talked about them. And PlayStation Mobile was the only real techie thing, and that was still related to games. It still had the PlayStation brand, so it was still related to video games and still worked as part of the conference. So on that point, they scored. But nothing brand new beyond, except for Beyond, was really... I think... Let me say something about both conferences for Sony and Microsoft, because I haven't seen Nintendo yet. It's nothing really that new. Sony spoiled a lot of this stuff. Beyond got leaked before the conference, I think. Battle Royale's been announced. They just announced new characters. Nothing. Assassin's Creed Liberation and Wonder Book were the only real things to come out of this. Everything else was like basically announced in some capacity. So it was really cool to see all this stuff, but it had nothing. For me, there was nothing that made it so awesome. It just felt kind of bleh. Like their big thing was Wonder Book, and the tech demo fucked up. It was so funny. All it was this woman, because they were doing this Harry Potter thing, so fucking dumb. Just let Harry Potter go. I like Harry Potter. I own all the books, or I owned them all. I gave them to my sister because she's a lot younger than me. But I've seen most of the movies and stuff. Harry Potter's cool, but stop! It's enough. And it was so funny, though. This woman, she has this book in her lap, and you have to tilt it up towards the screen. It looks so dumb. And she's trying to follow this pattern on the screen, and she just keeps doing it, and it just never works. And the camera's focused on her, and she's just like, rup, rup, rup. She has to make like a 4. She's like, rup, rup, rup. And then the game just doesn't do anything. Rup, rup, rup. Sparkle. Didn't do what she wanted, though, and she kept doing it, and it took like 5 tries, and the guy's like, it's just a tech demo, remember that. This is a live performance. Just like, shut the fuck up. Your game should be working. If you want to show it off, it should be fucking working. And she's like, and she's doing this 4, and then she finally got it, and she had to do it, and then it worked, and then all these other people were just sort of swaying around and shooting fireballs, and they suck at it. Why would people suck at their own tech demos? She's like shooting fireballs at these paper dragons and shit. And she's like, oh, I missed. Oh, I missed. Oh, I missed. I hit it. Oh, miss, 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 hit. Miss, 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 hit. God. But if you're a PlayStation fan, which I am not really a fan, but I do like PlayStation, God of War Ascension was awesome for me. But there was some cool stuff here, but nothing really PlayStation. They had 2 bundles. They had an Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed Liberation bundle with their consoles. Why? I mean, what's the point of a... Whatever. I guess if you want the white PSP, or the Vita, the white Vita, then you want to buy this. Whatever. Overall, Sony did better than Microsoft, but it still had nothing to really floor everybody, except maybe Beyond showing off in the beginning. And then Last of Us was cool at the end, but really in the middle, it was just Wonder Book and Move, and no Vita. And if you're a Vita fan, there was nothing here for you. There was Liberation, and that's fucking it. And then they announced that... Battle Royale would be coming out on, but that was a no-brainer, really, I think. So yeah, nothing really floored. To be a Vita fan, nothing happened. So that's my thoughts on the Sony conference. I'm going to take a quick break to get some water, and then I'm going to do Ubisoft. So I'll see you guys in a little while. Peace.